Hi, everyone. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the following podcast belong solely to the host and its contributors. They are not necessarily the views of our employers, organizations, committees, or other group or individual.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Brewing with BIM. I'm Joe Whitney, and with me, as always, is Dave Campbell. What's up, Dave?
Hey, not much, Joe. Thanks again for having me, as always.
Oh, man, no problem, no problem. Well, hey, look, we're about to jump into this. Before I do, what are you drinking?
Oh, dude, I'm pretty excited tonight. I had a pretty good lineup that I was looking for at the store. And today I have one of my favorite breweries, so I decided to go with Rogue again. And for today, I have the Combat Wombat. Now, dude, I'm telling you, it made it so hard this week to pick a beer. Now, this one is a sour Northeast style hazy Indiana Pale Ale brewed with Australian hops, blood orange, and grapefruit, right? That right there had me pretty sold. But then when I'm looking at the the can itself, I mean, I couldn't resist. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. 9 times out of 10, I'm looking at the labels, right? I mean, I know what kind of beer I'm interested in, but I'm looking at these labels. I'm looking at creative names, creative kind of like designs on the can itself. The more creative you get, the more you're gonna sell me for drinking this beer. Like, I tell you what, and this one just it had me all in with a Kung Fu Wombat slicing through some blood oranges and grapefruit.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool, man. Yeah, I'm a sucker for the cans. It's actually how I discovered that Collective Arts Jam Up the Mash a few weeks back. But yeah, like you know what you're looking for a beer. Like you know what flavors you want, what the profile is. So, if I've got 6 different ones in front of me, I haven't tried, 5 of them. Which one's got the cooler label? Which
Yes.
one's speaking to me? I hear you.
Yes. Yep. My thought process is, the more effort they put into the label, I think that they would at least reciprocate that with their beer, right? They're going to put some good effort into their beer too.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, I mean, if they're spending the extra quiche and the extra time to get their can looking good, hopefully it resonates inside the beer as well.
oh, I agree. Now,
Well,
sometimes I'm not going to lie, we've all been misled by descriptions, right? We're thinking, oh man, this beer is going to taste amazing. And then you get to drink it and you're like, whoo, this is not at all what I expected.
I recall an episode we did where you had a pumpkin ale or a
The
pumpkin
pumpkin
lager,
ale.
a pumpkin
Yeah,
ale.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was not awesome. It was that, and then I did a super fruit beer, a super fruit Hefeweizen. I was like, oh, this is gonna be amazing. Look at all these different types of berries. No, this tastes like poop in a can. I'm sorry. Every other beer from them, I love it, but man, that one is not for me. I am not a super Weizen fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was I like berries. I like hef. I don't know. I don't know, man. I imagine it's probably just really disgusting over the top on one side of that. Um, well, I am still chugging away on this homebrew. Got my
Oh,
this time instead of having to run to the refrigerator, brought a little growler down, and I'm red solo cupping it because beer out of a keg. I don't know if it's the chemical nature of the plastic just tastes better out of a solo cup.
nothing to argue against there. I think when I go to keggers, it's always like the best kegger when you find the red solo cups up. You're ready to go.
Oh yeah. I love when people try to get fancy with the blue ones or the yellow ones. I'm like, just come on, give me the red one, guys. Just give me the red one.
It took me forever. I was gosh, I don't know how old I was when I finally learned that the lines inside were for measuring. I'm
Right,
like, oh,
they are.
yes, there are lines on the inside of the cup for measuring. I'm like, that is amazing.
I had no idea. Well, mine's got like some kind of wavy swirl going on right now. I don't know if this one
Yeah,
is,
I
but
guess there's like a line at the bottom for like a shot. I don't remember. I think there's a line towards the middle or towards the top.
well, these aren't solo cups. They're the
Oh,
off-brand
off-brand.
Walmart brand.
Hey
So,
man, it makes it's all.
So I don't
same,
think the lines are legit.
Gotta have the measuring lines to be a true alcoholic.
Oh, I'll be honest, man. I haven't had a chance to actually get down on beer in quite a while. I was visiting the family, wife's family up in upstate New York. And while we were up there, I had a few Coronas, just hanging out. But we were hanging out with family. Didn't get to do much drinking. And then I think this might be my second beer since I've been back, man. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah, just busy, dude. I told you about this kitchen remodel, which I'm anxious to share some pictures with everybody of. I mean, like complete gut, like new floor, new cabinets, new everything. I just I've been on this, man. I've just been dedicated. I'm a project guy. I've gotta have something that's always next in the queue to motivate me to like just keep going, to like just keep finishing whatever I'm doing. There's got to be some task, some challenge, something. I don't know.
That goal you're going for. That goal, yeah. I like that. You're goal oriented.
Dude. And I think that goal orientedness actually plays into what we're going to talk about today, man. We're going to talk about the Better You Better BIM. And for those of you guys that are listening, like, oh, they've done that.
Part deuce.
This is part deux. Who thought COVID would be happening 5-6 months later? We didn't.
Gosh, dude, no.
We
did not think that at all.
We were like, 3 months in, man. 3 months. It'll just be a 3-month thing. And use these 3 months, brush up on your knowledge of BIM, brush up on your tools that are out there, figure something out, dedicate, add some structure to your life, add some cool work-life balance, figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Use this time working from home to get better at something and do something. And here we are 6 months later, 5-6 months later, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have ran out of things to Google. So
yes. Yeah.
So that's why we're here. We want to chat about some cool things to take a look at. And it doesn't always have to be BIM related. Let's chat about fun projects to tackle and things just to keep going. Hey, learn guitar, learn a new hobby, do something. Keep your sanity.
I think I've said this before, but when I was younger, I had an older gentleman named Jim, and he gave me this inspiration. He told me that
was it Jim
every
Beam?
day. Oh, Jim Beam. He gives me inspiration almost every day. No, I'm kidding. But gives me really good inspiration every once in a while. Jim told me that every day you should strive to learn something new, because the day that you stop learning is the day that you fall behind. But and that's kind of been my motivation for a while. But I had to really sit back and think about it the other day. Like, I keep trying to concentrate on learning new things for my job, learning new things here, trying to make myself better in that sense, when in all reality, you learning something doesn't have to be something big, right? It could be even the smallest things, the smallest details, whether you learn something new about yourself, you learn a different process, a different workflow, or, really anything. It's just striving to keep learning in general. Don't restrict yourself. Keep yourself like open to learning new things. And I it's funny, but getting back to my hippie self here, be open, right? Open to the flow. Go with the flow, man. And if you feel something and it's cool, like go down. Don't be afraid to take that road and learn something new. Don't be afraid to take that kind of detour, take that tangent, right? And take that tangent and see where it goes. And I mean, at the end of the day, all you do is you spend some time, right? It's never wasted. Time is never really wasted. It's you're spending that time, and whether you came out with the results that you expected or not, you're still learning and you're still moving forward.
Yeah, I think I want to add to that. Like always learning, right? I mean, you always want to keep finding new information and how to apply it. But hitting on that note where you said learning doesn't have to be huge, it could be the small things. Well, for me, like some things that I've been thinking about, especially your treks lately, thinking about like you're not necessarily, I don't know necessarily if you're learning, but you're engaging, you're doing something outside of your norm. You're putting yourself in an environment that there's some hard work that has to go to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't know if it could be said that you always learn from hard work or not, but just like pushing yourself. I think that's what it really is, like pushing yourself, whether it's through knowledge or through physically. And the reason why I bring this up is, man, you've been like bear hunting recently. You've been out hiking. Like you guys were out of, we did this episode last week with our buddy Rob Gadbaugh, and we had a tremendous episode. Rob had this great view of his backyard, and you had this great view from the mountains. So I'm sitting there and I'm very envious of your guys' surroundings. But the whole time it's like, well, you're not really learning, but dude, like that's you're putting yourself in an environment that's worthwhile. So like just getting outside of your norm, getting out of your damn house, getting away from your computer, pushing your kids to go do something, like doesn't have to be necessarily learning, but just try something new, or try something adventurous, man. Adventurous.
Yeah, just get out, experience life from a different angle. That's really all it is. It's just experiencing things and making memories, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what really counts, those memories that you have. Now, dude, speaking of learning, though, I'm pretty excited. Like, I've been taking my kids out quite a bit into the woods. We try to go camping. I try to take them to different portions of Oregon to kind of learn where we live, where we're living now, and where we can go, what we can see. And just yesterday, I actually ordered a mushrooms of the Pacific Northwest and foraging in the Pacific Northwest. So I can start learning or teaching my kids, and also learning myself, how to identify different mushrooms and foraging, like plants and berries and things like that we can and cannot eat in the woods up here on the mountain.
That is, so I'm very envious of that. I was Boy Scout, never made it to Eagle, but that was one of my favorite things, just going out. Actually, I take it back. It was not one of my favorite things. When I was a kid, I didn't care about any of that shit. I was just like, I don't want anything to do with this. But I'll tell you what, looking back, later on, I'm like, oh man, what is that? I wish I remembered what that was. What's that? Like that plant. But later on in life, I went to college, all that stuff. There was a geography major, GIS, all that fun stuff. In there, they're teaching us about land and land conservation. We read this book called Omnivore's Dilemma by, I believe, Michael Pollan, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, actually. I have that book downstairs on my desk.
It's a great book. So the last chapter of the book, I think it's broken in thirds. So there's first part, second part, and the third part. The third part of the book, it's about him hunting and foraging and all that stuff. And it was just such a romantic notion about, killing your own animal, foraging for your own mushrooms, like just so beautiful. So when we moved to the Northwest, I had this whole idea that I was going to do this. And then you settle into work. I had a 4-month-old kid. Shit just, I always had excuses, and I never put forth the effort. But it sounds like you're on the right track, man.
Trying to be, dude. I feel like I want that connection. I want to be able to provide, but to give back at the same time, And it's funny, I had this talk with Ivory and Gabriel, like my two oldest. Like I'm going hunting, and they asked me if I'm going to kill an animal and if I like enjoy it. And I had to be honest. Like, I'm like, no, I don't really enjoy taking an animal's life. Like, not in that sense. No.
Yeah.
I enjoy the thought of harvesting the meat, like producing or providing, for my family, like providing. Now, I'm using what's given to me off the land, though. I'm not taking it from a factory. This meat hasn't been processed. I know exactly where it's coming from. I know what it eats. And being able to harvest this and provide that sustenance to my family gives me a feeling of, I don't know, like, I don't know, importance. I don't know what exactly it is. It just makes me feel good to go out, whether it's fishing or it's foraging or it's hunting, like connecting back to the land, thanking the animal. Like literally, it's funny, but I went through this whole Buddhist phase for a while, and just thinking about, I thank every animal that I go to harvest. Like if I kill an animal, it's not, I don't kill for fun. I don't do that. I will not take an animal's life just because that to me is a waste. But as long as I'm going to harvest that meat, I will go up, thank you for what you've given to me and my family, right? And thank you for the sacrifice that you made to provide sustenance for me and my family. And it's, dude, I mean, the connection that I feel when that happens, and when I can provide for my family, like, it just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, unless you're, psychotic, enjoys actually taking the life of something. It's been a few years since I've hunted. Like I said, I had this whole notion of going up to the Northwest and hunting and foraging. But before that, in Texas, I was bow hunting all the time. You know, taking that shot and it lining up perfectly, and it's a clean kill, like you're like, oh yeah, that's so awesome. But at the same time, you're conflicted because you're like, I literally just killed something, like something just died. But as you eat that meat, as you use that meat, provide it for your family, for your friends, people partake of it. I don't know. There's pride that goes into it. Like there's a lot that goes to it. It's like I did something that most people don't do. I didn't go to the freaking go get a 99-cent hamburger from the store, from McDonald's or whatever, and wolf that down. No, I killed something that was clean and pure. And
well, and
some
you think
awesome.
about the work, the time, the effort that goes into getting ready for that, like the scouting that you have to do, the walking that you have to do. You're not ever, I mean, I'm not going to say you're not ever, because yes, there are times you literally get on a trail and you see an animal on the trail or on the road in front of you and you're like, oh, hot dog. But most of the time it's not, right? You're walking through the woods. You spend countless days walking miles and miles and you don't see an animal, or you'll see sign, stuff like that. Or, when that hard work and effort pays, like you literally find an animal, you make a good shot. It doesn't have to suffer. It goes down, everything's cool. You provide that meat and sustenance. Yeah, dude, it's a great feeling. And as I said, it kind of just pays that return of investment there. That feeling that you get of accomplishing what you were really trying for. And then again, if I think about it, an elk in my freezer is going to save me so many trips to the grocery store. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And that's a little bit lazy, right, for me, but it's also at the same time I'm like, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. Well, killing an elk, say you get 2 elk a year or an elk a year. Think about how much you spend feeding. You got 4 kids. I mean, come on, man. Like it adds up.
Oh yeah, dude, trust me, it adds up. Oh yeah.
Man, it's funny you bring up the whole trip to the store thing. I feel like I've been to the store, I don't know, like not just grocery stores, like any store, like it doesn't matter. I've probably been to the store. Like I've had to like go to the store about 3 times a day, it seems like.
Yeah.
And most of it's because of the home remodel project, but it's like, oh, I need to go get this. Oh, I need to go get this. Oh, we don't have this. Oh, we need more avocados. Oh, it's like, oh my God, like
I need this for this recipe. Oh, I need this for that. Oh crap, we ran out of garlic bread. It's little things here and there. Yep.
Oh man. I don't know if it's the whole COVID, everybody's home, everybody. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm going to the store a lot more. Maybe I'm just sick of being home and I need an excuse to get out.
Yeah, get an escape a little bit. No, dude, one of the things I've been really taking a kind of grip with during COVID is gardening. And this is kind of something that you can also tie into it. Like find hobbies, right, that you guys can tie into to distract yourself. I mean, honestly, COVID times can be a little depressing, right? You're stuck in your house. You can't go do a lot of the things you want to do. Can't go see a lot of your friends. And even when you get out, you have to wear a mask and most things are just weird. If you can find things to do in your house or around when you're not working. See, guys, this is honestly, I mean, we're going to go back into BIM here in a second, but of course we love the tangents.
But we've been home for 5 months, guys. Take a break from BIM at some point and focus on you.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Focus on you. See what else that you can accomplish outside of work. What makes you happy? For me, I've been hunting, I've been hiking, but also growing things like providing. I found that for me personally, providing is it just makes me feel good. It makes me happy to be able to learn more about these plants. I got my big garden back here. I got a bunch of containers out here of just different things that I've been growing: tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, zucchini, squash, watermelon, garlic, you name it, dude. Rosemary, lavender. I've got it out here. I've been harvesting my own lettuce for like a few months now. It's been awesome. The thing just keeps getting taller and taller. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll clip the top and it just kind of comes back down and gives me more lettuce. Like, all right. It's
That's
just
awesome.
been, it is, dude. It's been great. And honestly, any hobby that you guys can pick up just is going to, I'd say, now don't overwhelm yourselves. Obviously, you can get very easily overwhelmed with all your hobbies. I have a lot of them, right? But I'd say pick and choose your hobbies. Figure out, again, what feels good. Go with the flow. If you want to, get into, let's say, brewing. Brewing is a great hobby. Get into it, dive into it. If you love beer, check it out, right? Get into distilling if you really get into it.
You could get into home brewing for like $30. Like your initial setup could only cost you $30.
Yep.
I could give you links. I can show you how to do this. Get into home brewing. It'd be very easy for anybody that wanted to start. My setup, a lot more than $30, but I've got a lot of ease of use things with quick disconnects and pumps and
Yep.
all that stuff, and kegs.
Anybody out there that likes to cook, I guarantee you're going to like brewing beer.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Well,
it's just recipes.
Well, that's another thing. So you were talking about gardening earlier. Before I jump into cooking, you were talking about gardening. Your philosophy on gardening is, pretty awesome. Like keeping it simple. You said, keep it simple. Don't overwhelm yourself with your hobbies. I continually talk myself out of gardening. I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this, and I have to do this, and I have to do this. I really want to start gardening. I have never had a successful garden. I am a 36-year-old grown man, and
no.
I have never grown a damn thing that's lived. Like it just, other than my kids, thank God. But the oldest is 7. Let's see how far she makes it. But take a step back and actually just dumb it down. All right, well, what do I need? I need, sun, I need dirt, and I need some seeds and water, obviously. But figure that out, start there, and then continually grow and expand on it. Like, oh, okay, well, maybe this will do better over there next time. Or it doesn't have to be perfect the first time. Just fucking do it, right? Pardon my French, guys. Yep. But that's pretty much the bottom line. Oh, anyways, getting back to cooking though. I was a cook for, 7 years, from like my teens through, my mid-20s, where I got, in the end, I got to work at a really awesome catering company and cook for phenomenal people. I cooked for Alyssa Milano. I cooked for George W. Bush. The dude was licking the freaking plate at the end of the night, said, this is better than the mansion at Turtle Creek. Like, this is phenomenal food. Like, getting, Vicente Fox, former president of Mexico, like, I've cooked for all these people. And I just want to say the stuff that they eat, it's basic shit. It's like, take some time, Google some recipes, put some dedication, figure out what you like. Same thing with brewing beer, figure out what flavors you like. And just pick a day, pick a day to at least start. That's it. Just start. It's like exercising to me, man. Like starting a new hobby is like, I really want to do this. But then I'm like, start looking at exercising. Like, I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. Oh shit, that looks like a lot of work. And then I talk myself out of it, man.
Yep. It's funny is that's me too. But Adrian will say, my wife will say, I'm just so how do you say it? I just go and I do things, right? I'm spontaneous. And I'm like, no, that's the way I have to be so I can get things done. Because if I don't, I overthink it and I don't know if I really want to get into it. Like with brewing, man, just do it. Just go and do it. Just try it. If you mess up, oh, well, you messed up. And I mean, it's like $20-$30. Cool. That sucks. But at the same time, you're learning something, right? And I guarantee you're not going to hate every portion of it. You're going to have things that you really like, and you're going to have things that, man, that kind of sucked. And that's perfect. That's how everything's going to be, right? it's up to you to take a look at that at the end of that process and say, what can I do better? What can we do better next time I want to do this again? How can I avoid the moments of suck? Or, you know what, do I just embrace the suck? It's just going to suck, and let's embrace it, and we get through it, and we get to make what makes us really feel good after that, even with exercising.
Isn't that the military model? Embrace the suck, man.
It is, dude. Yes, it is. Embrace the suck. And you squeeze it, you hold it tight, and you're like, all right, let's get through things.
That's kind of like your first, tying everything back into BIM. That's kind of like your first Revit project. You came from AutoCAD, you were proficient, you're doing your first project in Revit. It's like, oh, this sucks. This isn't the way AutoCAD works. Oh, I hate that. Just embrace the suck. Just get through it. I have a buddy of mine who's I've been teaching Revit for, I don't know, the better part of like 2 years, just off and on, like sending him tips and tricks, like helping him out. And I'm no wizard at Revit, dude. I barely touch the program. But I know enough to be dangerous, right? And I'm showing him some stuff, and he's trying to design a pool. Like, he got his first job, and he has to design a pool. And it's not a lot of money. It's like $600 or something. But it's his first job. Like, he's his first paying solo job to design something in BIM, in Revit, not BIM, but in Revit. But it has to have BIM. He's like, it has to have such documentation. It needs to have, MEP connections, piping connections, electrical connections, that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And they want to be able to use this for permitting and all this stuff. So like, there's this whole process that goes with it. And he's just like, oh my God, I'm so lost. And like, he's like, this sucks. Why doesn't this just do this? Why didn't it do it like this? And like, just get through it. I wish I would have known that mantra would have came to mind. Embrace the suck, man. Just embrace the suck. Get through it. Be all right. But he's learning, and now he's like, I love it. Like, I love the whole parametric modeling. Like, it's so intuitive.
Yep, it is, dude. It is. And let's get back to BIM. Actually, let's take it full circle with different things like that. Even just stepping outside of your comfort zone for a little bit. Feel free. I mean, look out for these Autodesk University classes, right? We were going to talk about this episode. AU's this year is going to be going digital, which is great. So keep an eye out for AU and any classes that you might see there. But I know, Joey, you had an idea on a few classes you want to talk about. But dude, you go into Autodesk University, or what was it? Remember what the other one was, but essentially you can track all of the old AU classes and go back and look for any specific like workflows or any processes you guys are trying to learn. I mean, shoot, when I started getting into Navis and the Timeliner, there are presentations on it. There are presentations. They have content you can download, like the actual PowerPoint, the data sets for it, and then watch a little video of somebody presenting through it. I actually did one that last year, construction verification and light speed. I went through and kind of told everybody how to verify using a total station scanner, and verifying using Verity and Navisworks. You're lining up your as-built data versus your design, or let's say your current construction process against the design, like the construction model against the design model. It's a fantastic kind of idea, and it's awesome that anybody has that capability to go back afterwards and watch, right? And I've been watching a few AU classes. I got into a little bit of vehicle tracking, some of the Civil 3D and InfraWorks, the structural bridge design workflows. I thought that was very cool to kind of go through and see, especially the InfraWorks kind of feature extraction. Just different classes. And then actually something I've touched on recently is getting into Assemble. I know I've talked about this over the last couple episodes, and it's really just because as I've been slowing down from teaching classes, I've been doing some demos, I've been doing some consulting implementations. I have some time back to myself in my day, and I'm like, how do I want to spend this? And for me, it was investing time in Assemble, learning what this does, how it works, how it can, tear apart my model, and what data I can pull from it. And really, that's only, in my mind, kind of making me better in that sense, to not only understand, of course, what Assemble does, but in a sense of let's take a look at it from a takeoff or estimator standpoint. how could they use this program? What data do they need and how can they get it? And how can they use this program? So it starts teaching me the different processes. And as I talk to different, estimators and things like that in the field and see how are you using this program, it honestly just helps me build that knowledge base even more, but a wider foundation, right? To kind of come up from there.
Yeah, and I agree wholeheartedly, dude. So you hit on several programs that I love playing with. So vehicle tracking, I was like supporting vehicle tracking for years. I love the ability to customize and edit your own vehicles. Sweat path analysis is huge, but the roundabouts, like automating roundabout design. So in Civil 3D, it's been a pain in the butt, but vehicle tracking automates that, and parking lot layout and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
But InfraWorks, the structural bridge stuff, that stuff really blew me away. I don't know, it must have been like 5 years ago.
Yep.
I don't know, it was like probably about 6 months after InfraWorks came out. Like I saw some stuff on, maybe longer than that, but after InfraWorks had come out, I saw some stuff on the structural bridge workflow, and it was kind of like half baked, but it's come so far. Like the whole process of creating bridges inside of InfraWorks, exporting the surfaces to Civil 3D, quarters Civil 3D, and then bringing in the actual bridge components into Revit, where it actually uses the Inventor engine to create it. It's amazing. And then you and we've been working on feature extraction for, I don't know, it must be like 2 months now, 3 months now. A lot of fun stuff there.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. And honestly, I can't get enough of that Inventor engine, just honestly creating Revit parametric families, but it does it so precise. That engine, the way the Inventor engine works is just awesome.
So we use Inventor inside of Civil 3D as well to create parts. It's in the part builder. It uses the Inventor engine. It is nowhere near as intuitive or clean. Like I don't know what it is. It's just they don't. It doesn't flow as. I feel like you need a PhD in parts builder to make really dynamic, proficient parts inside of Civil 3D. Whereas if you were coming from InfraWorks and going straight to Revit, it's like, hey, it's instantaneously done. Yeah, you don't have as much tweaking capabilities because it's using the AASHTO tables, but once it creates the Revit family for you from the Inventor engine, you can totally manipulate and edit it as you see fit.
Yeah, exactly. Once it's a parametric family, I mean, at that point, edit family, go into it and do what you need.
Yeah. So Assemble is one that you've been like, I don't know, you've kind of been pulling me into for the better part of 2 years now. And,
yeah, dude, I like it.
We did some stuff, I don't know, maybe like a year and a half ago. You and I played with a project we got invited to. We did some stuff.
Yep.
I think it kind of died there. It was primarily because maybe Autodesk hadn't completed the acquisition, or there wasn't fully integrated at that point in time yet. But now it seems to be a lot more so. And you sent me quite a few videos, and we did some back and forth on it. I don't know, man. I'm kind of blown away. I love the QTO capabilities of it. I love what you can do. But I did want to give a shout out again to Rob Gadbaugh for his tool that's coming out, that he's got the QTO functionality with Power BI and Revit.
Yep. That's a fantastic tool. Yes, it is, dude. The ability to create those dashboards right from Revit as things change. It's awesome, dude. I mean, it's killer. It really is.
So that's a good segue to start talking about the next part, like plugins, learn new plugins. But that said, before I jump to that rabbit hole, I do want to reiterate, yes, the Autodesk University stuff, it's out there. Dive into it. There are a million great sessions. I find myself like, Googling something, it takes me knowledge base. Knowledge base is like, doesn't get me what I need. It's just the basics. Then I dive into an AU session, 35 minutes in, it gives me the sweet golden nugget of information that I've been digging for. I get it, I learn, I improve, I keep on going. And you know what, man, I feel so much, I don't know, I feel like I've got a piece of nugget that, maybe, 1,000 people sat through it or 10,000 people sat through it. But I'm actually at my computer pulling that information so I can apply it in real time, real life. And that's not something people that are sitting through a session at, Cram AE are doing. They're like, oh my God, this is interesting, this is good, but I don't know how I'm going to use these little technical nuggets. So I don't know, man. Something to be said about like in the moment, like.
Well, I like it.
Just in time.
I like it I like more that it's also focused. Those classes are focused, right? A lot of times you'll see these classes for specific workflows or processes. Like, let's say you're going to go from Revit to Power BI, or you want to, pull, I don't know, BIM 360 data out, or you want to go ahead and collaborate with Civil 3D and Revit, anything like that. You can find specific classes for, let's say, just different like workflows, and you can do a search as well. You can search for any of those classes and find, let's say, just specific ones. Joey said you're looking for that nugget. That's it, man. I mean, most of the time we're really looking to solve a problem, right? Something that we've been having, we cannot get through as easily. How can we solve this problem? Do a search on those classes and see if you can find one that's targeting that specific thing, right?
And so AU years past have been in person.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're going to get I don't know. I have a feeling, call it an inkling. We might get a better production value out of the remote sessions this year because they're hosted at your computer. There's not somebody walking across the stage. You're more in tune with, all right, I'm here. Let me show you this. Let me get to this. I want to talk to you about this. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's more direct and there's less of the showmanship. Well, I do appreciate the showmanship. We all do.
I agree. Less anxiety as well. I think there's going to be less anxiety with
on the presenter.
Sure. Yeah.
On the presenter. Well, that brings me to the next part, though. So I had mentioned this earlier. I got notes here. Sorry. I took a note earlier. I wanted to compliment you. I wanted to say that you're like John Muir. You're going out finding these national parks, and I wanted to come up with some witty quote, but I couldn't. That's what happens when you drink beer, guys. It just kills those brain cells. I feel like. Do you remember the Cheers? Norm sits down on the seat, and he's like, and they're talking about like beer makes you dumber or whatever, and he's like, no, actually, it makes you smarter, and here's why: it's survival of the fittest. It kills off the dumb brain cells.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Yeah. It eliminates it's what is it? Darwinism.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, I just want to tell you that's not true. I feel dumber every time. But that said, on our last Better You Better BIM, we gave shout outs to a lot of plugins. Provided links to like free training from like DI Roots, plugins like Bird, plugins like but we just did a Revit plugin episode, so I don't want to like name any by name. I just want to give the general gist of, like explore. There are a lot of trials for plugins out there. If you guys, there's something you guys want to try, you don't see a 30-day trial, hit us up. David and I got a lot of connections. We'll find a way to get you guys a trial of a plugin. That way you guys can put it through its paces and figure out if it meets your needs. That said, we had Rob Gadbaugh on the previous episode. If you guys are interested in any of the Kobe Lab stuff, we know that stuff inside and out. We can get you guys hooked up with some demos and trials and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
But I mean, that was pretty much it. Like, figure out things that you're so with the plugins, right? We're talking about like becoming more efficient. Like, let's take a step back. What is something that you're struggling with today? So part of learning is identifying your current weaknesses. Oh my God, I'm spending 46 minutes every day doing this. Well, how do you either eliminate that, cut that time down, or pawn it off on somebody else, right? Delegate, right?
Yep.
If you're a BIM manager, that's the best part of the manager.
It is, dude.
Delegate.
It is. It's funny though. The last few days, I've actually had conversations with people, and I keep trying to use these acronyms of AAR, APR, but I like to think of it as an after action review or an after project review, right? We keep talking about, Better You, Better BIM. Like, let's take a look at our projects at the end of this project, and let's sit down and have our good, better, best. Like, what did we do good? What happened better? What was the best about this project? What can we capitalize on, right? What can we keep moving forward with? And what do we want to improve on? Now, this may be internal training, right? Hey, we can improve on workflows and different things like that. Or This could be adopting a new plugin, as Joey's saying here. Let's start researching these different plugins for things that we know it takes us longer to detail out these drawings or place these sheets or tag this out. What plugin can we find that might do this for us? If we need all of this stuff spooled out and we need all this stuff tagged and placed on sheets automatically, what can we find to do that? Like, there's got to be something that does it. And if there's not, let's fast forward into what you should start looking into. Hey, let's start playing with Dynamo, right? Start playing with it, adopting some of these other scripts and learn how to kind of just take things apart. I mean, that's really the way that I learned it. I make a Franken script. I don't care. Like, I'm not smart enough yet to where I can completely write out my own scripts. So I will literally take a little bit from here. I see what you're doing here. I like what you did here, but let's go ahead and take this. Let's start combining that together into what I want, you know, and then move forward.
Well, I think you've identified something you should capitalize on for Better You Better BIM. Learn some damn Dynamo, my friend. Sign you up for some Udemy or whatever the other,
Dude, I'll sit through DI Roots. DI Roots gave a free tutorial, like 3 or 4, I think, episodes, different tutorials.
Yeah, over Dynamo, but I was talking about, like, learning some Python or learning some
oh yeah. Oh, dude, if I can learn, I need to learn more about Python. I know that. I started trying to get into it, and I got to the point of what I understand, or that I understand what a Boolean is, what a script is, kind of what my true or false, like the kind of language, like the flow of how,
if then loops,
keywords. Yes. I understand that, but my process now is to learn how it all goes together, because that's a whole different thing. If you miss 1 comma, 1 semicolon in any of that, your script does not work.
There's some languages, if you don't have the right amount of spaces, or you like, so in scripting, like, there's you want to write clean, like you want to have the right structure, but there's some languages that actually require you to have a specific structure, because if you don't have it spaced correctly, your script doesn't run. But that said, I used to eat, sleep, and drink freaking Python back in the day. It was the GI, like, we had like mega data sets for multiple sources that we needed to comb through to find 30,000 groupings of strings of data that we needed out of, say, 3 million. The only way to sort through that data is a Python script. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did. We wrote a bunch of scripts, and now I'm looking at it, I'm like, all right, I know what this is, I know what this means, but beyond that, I'm like, whatever. Google, who's got this script? Like,
that's it, dude. That's it.
Yep, man. But becoming more efficient in your plugins, looking at Dynamo as a savior, to kind of just, it's not perfect, but just pushing your boundaries, figuring out what you can improve upon, right? I mean, there's got to be some manual input at some point. You need a job, right? So there's got to be some level of manual input. But
and honestly, I think you should try to look for that constructive criticism, right? Every project, in a sense, has a way that you can get better. What is that? Like, yes, I want to know what we did amazing. That always feels good to know. Like, yeah, we were great on this. Awesome. But at the same time, personally, I'm going to pay more attention to what can we improve? How can I improve this? And again, whether we're saying adopting add-ins or learning Dynamo, learning Python, taking a little bit of time to step back and say, how can I really improve with this and push this forward, right? And think about the ROI when you're doing this too. Don't just adopt something because you think it can save you a second or two. I mean, maybe a second or two every hour is a big thing, but think about that return of investment of how much time you can get back by adopting this plugin or taking the time to actually learn Dynamo to Python, things like that, and then utilize that. I mean, guys, we have, at this point in time, we have nothing but time, right? We're sitting at home and utilize it.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna let you run on a tangent here while I hit the head, but You mentioned something about, this whole improvement methodology. You got to figure out what you did wrong so you can improve, or what you didn't do quite as well so you can improve. It's always about improving. It's always about, getting better. What are some things that you've had to do in your previous experience to kind of reconcile to, some of the things that you immediately saw in previous projects that you had to get better? What are some of those things?
Okay. So in that sense, dude, there's quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and take it. You're good to go. So in my mind, there's quite a bit here that I've done to kind of improve. One thing, I actually started listening to more audiobooks. So as you guys know, or as some of you may not know, if you're coming in new, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I try reading actual physical books. I've been trying to push that more into my self-improvement goals recently. But I'm listening to some audiobooks on organization, self-organization, right? And in terms of like getting a routine, an idea of how you guys want to work, what you want to do, and thinking of the ways that we can best, I want to say, optimize that, right? So in saying that, what I mean is, what things can we do to declutter or organize our daily, I want to say, life or to-do items, right? That's one big thing I had to focus on because I had so many things coming at me at one day, at one time, right? And trying to organize those things sometimes can be kind of hard, especially on these big projects when you have so many, let's say, RFIs, you have so many people that you're connecting with and you're coordinating with, and you want to make sure all of your drawings are up to date or all of this information's up to date. You're not going to make a dumb decision because you don't have all of the data that you need, different things like that, or working on a design and detailing it. And I mean, there's so many different ways that we can use better organization. So decluttering your mind, decluttering your workspace, and organizing or making a routine of what you typically do, and allow yourself breaks, right? This was actually one of my biggest problems, right? I've learned that I am such a yes man. And I'm kind of,
yes, you are.
I am, and I am
to my own benefit. Yes, you are.
Yes, yeah. and I'm kind of a people pleaser. Like, I go out of my way to try and make sure people get what they need, get what they want. Like that, I'm going the extra mile to make sure my stuff is good. And in that, I mean, that's a good thing to do. But at the same time, you got to control.
It's your reputation, right?
Yes, it is. It is. But you got to control kind of what you're doing and allow yourself breaks. I got burnt out there for a little bit, because I'm going from demo to demo or meeting to meeting, and I'm trying to talk to these people, and I'm switching gears and trying to jump over to this project, and my day, the way I would look at it is I tried to fill up those 8 hours with as much work as I could. And recently I've realized I got to take a step back, whether it's like a 15-minute walk, or just step back and take a break with the kids, go throw the football in the backyard for a few minutes, anything like that. And then going back or stopping and reading a book, right? Just read a book for a few minutes about something you want to learn, or watch a video, Autodesk University, or any of the webinars, anything like that. Give yourself time to take a break. And honestly, guys, yes, Joey and I can say all of this about, watch these webinars, do this, take these classes. Yes, but take them at your pace. Do not overwhelm yourself. Give yourself time to really learn what you're taking in, right? And actually learn it. Don't just, listen to it. I would say hear it. Or is it vice versa? Do I have that backwards? Like you can hear it, but you're not actually listening, or you're hearing, and it's one of those. To where it's in the background. Don't make it a background, right? Give it your full attention. And if you don't feel like you can give it your full attention, cool. That's not what you need to be doing at that time. Take that break, step away, and then come back to be able to give it what you want to give it, right? Do what you want to do. Organize it, get that routine, and I feel like you just continue to kind of get better. And really, it's almost without trying if you get into a routine. And I'm not saying without trying like the effort that you're putting in, but you're already expecting it every day. You're kind of getting into that step of where, all right, today I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to work for 2 hours in the morning, and then I'm going to take a 15-minute break to go walk around the block. I'm going to clear my head. You know what? 9 times out of 10, when I go on that walk, I'm thinking about a lot of the stuff that I'm doing during that day or the projects that I have up. And it helps me kind of work out some of the things that I may have been stressed about while I'm sitting at my desk, or let's say I'm going to take 15, 30 minutes to go ahead and watch this webinar. Man, that's cool. That's a problem that I've been having. I can go ahead and use this on this project that I'm working on. It's just a way that whatever you guys feel like you can get into there, go ahead and give it your all if you can, and see how you can adopt it, or again, take that break, clear your head, and then go at it again when you get back.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly there, man. Especially the part about, if you're not absorbing it, if you're not if you're not hearing it, I guess it is what you were saying. Maybe put that on the burner for another time and do it then. And that's the issue with a lot of the webinars and webcasts and stuff that I see that are out there. I'm like, yeah, that sounds interesting. Probably more interesting if I had something I could, apply it to. Not really too interested in it now. But your whole point about, clearing your head, walking the block, thinking stuff through, like that's literally everything I do now, man. Like, so before this, I had the privilege of working from home. I was on the road quite a bit though. I'd be in Chicago, Connecticut, DC, you name it, I was there. Vegas, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm home all the time. Even though I've been working from home, I feel like now I'm really working from home, not just 2 days out of the week. I'm working from home all 5 days, and I feel like a lot of other people, and I know all of our listeners are in the same boat. You're working from home, therefore, and I've had this same conversation with our listeners already, like via LinkedIn, whoever, there's been a few people that reached out to me where we chat about people believe that you're more accessible now. Like they know that your home office, your home computer, maybe they didn't put in a full 8 hours during 9 to 5 or whatever, 8 to 5, whatever it is. So now they're, it's 10 o'clock, their time, your time or whatever, and they're still working because they had to put in a few extra hours to get some stuff done. They reach out to you, but you, being home, your computer's home, you feel obligated to rush to your computer to freaking respond or bust something out real quick. It's this whole mentality that we have to get over. And, I don't know if it's good or bad or whatever, but, you definitely got to be mindful of the time that you put in, of your own schedule, your own happiness, of your own things, right? I mean, obviously, project deadlines and stuff that dictate, but spend 15 minutes with the kids, do something fun. That's what we do, right? I mean, so, I'm upstairs working, banging away while my kids are, watching TV or playing in the playroom, whatever. They've got Pandora on. I'm just, clickety clacking away on my computer. 10:30 rolls around. I take a break. I, make them some breakfast or we, play a game. 10, 15 minutes goes by. I get back at it. My head's clear. I'm back in it. I'm like, oh, I got to get to this. I got to do this. I got to do this. And I feel more dedicated rather than me just playing around on LinkedIn for 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever that I was gone. Like I'm not wasting as much time with distractions. I'm narrowing that focus. I'm diving back in, and then at lunchtime, like I'm actually planning out stuff. I'm on every night I Pinterest something new to do with my kids. So like right now we're seeing what different food drinks do to your teeth by leaving eggs inside of them because they're made out of calcium, blah, blah, blah. The reaction in your teeth. Tomorrow over lunch, we're going to do this beanbag toss, game where it's like a bullseye and you get more points and like stupid stuff. But that's our lunch hour. That's stuff that we're doing. Come back inside and I get back to work, bang out some stuff and ready to go. But having that extra time to spend more with the family, I feel so blessed. 5 years from now, I'm going to look back on this. So I mean, I don't know. You're a parent, so I know you feel the same way. But you're looking like, how the hell did my kids get so big? My daughter is 7 years old now. 7 years old now. I don't even feel like I'm ready to be a dad now. And she is 7 years old. And I'm like, how the hell did 7 years go by? So the more time I get to spend with her, especially during the summer times, it's just, I love it, man. I love it. Give me that hour over lunch, those 15-minute breaks. Let's walk the neighborhood. Let's do something. Let's have a conversation. It's so fun. It's enjoyable.
Yep. Yeah, dude, it is. And I mean, my oldest is going on 11 now. It's crazy. I'm like, man, 11, 9, 5, and 4. It's like how these kids are getting so big so fast. And, we're having conversations. Ivory and I, we went out today and ended up finding a random trail to drive the Jeep down and found some blackberries. And we just kind of hung out, picked some blackberries, talked about, okay, we're going to make some blackberry jam. When we get back, it's going to be so much fun to do this. And I love it, man. I really do. It makes things so fun.
I feel like that Jeep might be your new hobby, man.
Oh, yeah. Cool Jeep. Oh, it is, dude. I tell you what, like hunting this weekend, it was on point. Like that little truck could get down all these trails. I didn't have to worry about turnarounds. Like I'm on it. If I got to turn around, I got a small turn radius. You know what I mean? Compared to most other trucks. Oh yeah. And that thing just took me everywhere. And it's so nice. Like we had the top off and the doors off, right? And we're driving down this trail. And Joey, we're driving down the trail, and there are blackberries everywhere on the sides of the road, and they're like in these trees, so they're hanging down. We're sitting in the truck and just picking them from where the roof would be as they're hanging down. You're just picking ripe blackberries. Or just sitting right in the truck, still picking some blackberries. You don't even get out and walk down a trail, but it was so nice just sitting there in the truck. You got a bag right there in front of you, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, yeah.
Well, that's a cool hobby, man. Like we're talking about Better You Better BIM, but the Better You part of that is that whole peace of mind. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy you a Jeep. Damn it.
It does. It does. It can take you down a lot of trails.
Yeah,
that's
Jeep,
for sure.
Jeep Gladiator would be pretty damn nice, man. I'm jealous. I'm locked into my car for quite a while just because I don't drive anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I don't drive.
Dogs. Sorry.
Good. I don't drive anywhere. I've got the minivan, and I'm working from home until we can start traveling again and all that fun stuff. But it's, I don't know, it's nice, it's fun. It's just I got this little Beamer. It's not what I want, but it got good gas mileage at the time, and it was zippy. Every now and then I'm like, oh, I want to get a nice 4x4 again or something. I'm a big fan of the old disco Land Rover Discoveries. Yeah. I'd like to get one of those again. I don't know, man. But that said, I told you this earlier, but I am getting a motorcycle, man. It's been 7 years since I sold my motorcycle. 7-8 years now. Oh. My wife, I lived in Texas. I had this beautiful YZF. I sold it. I didn't want to haul it across country. I was like, oh, I know what I'll get as soon as I move to Oregon. I'm going to get a Hypermotard Ducati. My daughter was 4 months old at the time when we left Texas and we got to Oregon. By the time we settled in, it probably been about 6 months. I was ready to go buy a motorcycle. My wife goes, "You ain't getting another motorcycle?" Like, come on now, you can't tell me that. And then actually, that's a funny story. How I ended up with the BMW is a few years back. I was like, I really just want something fun to drive. I think I was driving this Elantra or something at the time. I just want something fun. I wanted a motorcycle. It was around my birthday time. I was like, I'm just going to go buy a motorcycle. I'm just going to go do it. And then I talked myself out of it. I was like, my wife will kill me. Don't do that. Go buy like an Audi or something, S Series. Never did that. I was like, that's just too much money. I just bought this 3 Series BMW. It's fun. It's peppy. But now she said, go ahead, buy your motorcycle.
So, right.
I am getting this motorcycle. I'm going to go pick one up tomorrow. I talked her into it because instead of buying another sport bike like I wanted, because I'm all about street bikes, you know, R1. I want another one. I want another leader bike or something. But
Yeah.
not going to get one. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bobber. And you had an old cafe bike, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I wanted to go the cafe route, but this deal on this Honda VF700 was too good to pass up. It's like the most reliable engine ever made. It's an amazing bike, and it's very easy to convert to a bobber. So I figured I'll just go that route because I need projects. Damn it, I need projects.
Gotta keep busy.
Dude, I think that's been like my whole mindset during this whole. I mean, it's been my mindset pre-COVID, but like that's what's really getting me through is like, like maybe I can go do this, maybe I can do this. I got 15 minutes. Go patch this drywall. Like I was building my deck.
Yep.
I was building a playground. Now I'm building a kitchen. After this will probably be a bathroom or something. I don't know. I'm gonna run out of projects one day, but. It's always like, all right, take a few minutes, go do this, like clear your mind, go do something. And I'm taking the time to actually teach my kids. My son is 3 and he loves power tools. Like any power tool you can get his hands on, he just wants to play with it. So like I'm teaching him like proper safety, like all that stuff. So I don't know. I feel like that applies maybe to this Better You Better BIM kind of mantra. But going back to the BIM part of this though, I do take time to learn new BIM stuff too. So a few weeks ago, we were talking about AWP, advanced work packaging, and I feel like I was just talking into my butt. But I've just been like researching this thing willy-nilly on my lunch breaks. I could take like 5 minutes. My kids are outside swinging on the swings, and I'm in the hammock, just like, all right, what's this? Like looking through some stuff. And I feel like over the past 2 weeks, I've probably learned quite a bit about AWP. I've actually been invited to that conference that Rob. It's funny. As soon as we mentioned it on the podcast, I got an invite. So I think somebody was listening. Was like, "Oh, send this guy a damn invite to this AWP conference down in Houston."
That's awesome.
I'm not gonna go, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. And I mean, if you can take any time that you have, like we were talking about it, get in a routine, or if you know that you're going to have just a few minutes, let's say you kick the routine and you just go with the flow. If you know that you have 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, start looking up more about advanced work packaging, about BIM prerequisites, or what is it? BIM guidelines. You're kind of anything that you can kind of jump into to feel like you're gonna better what you can do with it, right?
So I have 2 more things I want to chat about. But before I get to those 2, earlier you mentioned the whole look back and after a project, figure out what you need to improve on. There are always 2 things that always come up. I've been, before I was in the role I am now, I was on services. The 2 things that always came up repeatedly after talking with people after they did their first few projects on BIM, the 2 things that were repeatedly this is impossible to work around. One, the template that they were using in Revit. So you try to use the out of box template, or you got a template from somebody else, doesn't work. It doesn't meet your standards. It doesn't have if you're talking structural, it doesn't have all the levels that you need. It is just not there for you. And 2, and this one comes up even in the most experienced firms, a BIM execution plan for a project BIM execution plan.
Yes. Yep. BIM execution plans are huge, dude. Remember we had Johan back on quite a few episodes back now, but the importance of a good BIM execution plan. I mean, it's big, man.
I think getting Johan back on would be very advantageous, and just do a deeper dive into the BIM execution plan. Maybe some tips and tricks for setup and things that they should be on the lookout for. Obviously, there's no one size fits all, but that comes up 9 times out of 10 about things that we can improve on.
Yep. And I know that's also a big portion of templates too, dude. we can always improve on our templates. And that's, again, you said, tying back to my AARs, after action review or after project review, and do not be afraid to go back and evaluate your templates. So again, looking for that constructive criticism, look at all the users, talk to the users and see how they think this could get better. You know, have this after project meeting and say, okay, guys, we did this, we held up to our timelines here, this is where we fell behind. How do you think we can get better? What were our hurdles for this project? You know, if we can learn from that and really push forward and adapt new, let's say, I don't want to, I mean, it's not just software, it's workflows, it's training, and whether internal, external, you know, it's
communication, collaboration, like you name it, man.
Exactly.
Anything. Yeah.
Anything. There's anything there. But once you identify that, then that gives you that goal, right? You and Joey, you and I are very alike in that sense, where if you have a goal, you're very oriented to get to that goal, right? And I feel like that's people in general. We are very goal oriented. We are creative people. We want to feel accomplished in what we get done. Give yourself that goal. And I mean, take as little time as you need or as much time as you can give yourself, you know, and just keep working towards it. Don't feel discouraged like you're not giving it enough time. If you give it 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, that's fine. You know, give it what you can, still work towards getting better. But I think analyzing those weaknesses, accepting those places where we can get better and improve on, and then again, moving forward and adapting with that, you know, whether it's getting into a routine or it's going with the flow and just taking time wherever you can. Just keep getting better, keep moving forward.
I feel like we're just trying to give motivation. Like, you're at home, you're stuck at home, we get it.
What, yeah, dude.
Don't
what is
give
it?
Up.
Oh, it's that Shia LaBeouf motivational video. Just do it.
I tell you what, man, jump down a tangent real quick. Watching him in like Holes and Even Stevens, and then to watch him like Lawless was one of my, you know, it was a great movie.
Oh yeah, I love Lawless.
Charlie Countryman. Listeners, if you guys have not seen Charlie Countryman, go out, rent it right now. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. It is one of the best movies I have ever seen. It ranks in my top 10.
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen, the Russian, I guess. I don't know his ethnicity. Mm-hmm. Russian. Mikkelsen sounds Russian, I'm assuming. He plays one of the best bad guys ever. He plays the bad guy in the Bond Quantum Solace, I think, or whatever the one was that they're at the Casino Royale. He plays the bad guy at Casino Royale. He just plays a phenomenal bad guy. Him and Shia LaBeouf, they're amazing in this movie. Lawless is great. I'm a big Tom Hardy fan. If you haven't seen Warrior, that's another great movie to check out.
Yeah.
But you know, like talking about Better You Better BIM, I promise you, this movie won't make you better, but it'll make you feel better.
What was it called again?
Charlie Countryman, dude.
Charlie Countryman. Okay, yeah, text that to me. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. I'm texting you here on camera, man. So
all right,
people know next time we chat that you got it.
Okay, all right.
It's so damn good. Anyways,
yeah, guys. I mean, I feel like you know, we are kind of doing this whole motivational thing because we've been stuck in. But honestly, I want to say it's almost that easy, but it's not. Like, don't overwhelm yourselves, but just don't keep treading water, right? Keep moving forward, and give it what little time you have whenever you have it.
So you and I know an awful lot about, you know, bite-sized chunks. Like when we started this podcast, it was all about bite-sized chunks. You got an hour here, you got an hour here. Let's figure it out. Let's, you know, make some stuff work. And then over time, you learn and you prove. Doesn't have to be a podcast. I was just using this reference, but learning a new language, learning, you know, whatever, right? You got to start somewhere.
Yep.
If you want to read a book, you don't start by reading the whole book in one sitting. I mean, some books you can, but you start by just reading that first page, pushing through it, and go. Just dedicate 10 minutes a day. You know, this is probably a good point to mention. I think we chatted about this before. Like, I hadn't read a book since college, and then all of a sudden this year, I just made it a goal. I was like, all right, I'm just going to take 25, 30 minutes in the morning, dedicate some time to read. I think I've read like 30 books so far this year. Like just reading this year, 30 minutes every morning, and it motivates me because I get into it. And then that's all I want to do right before bed is, crush a chapter or something. So it's all about just putting one foot in front of the other. You gotta. So before I get off topic here, Ron Funches was on the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm a big JRE fan. So Ron Funches, for those of you guys that don't know, he does the voices on Trolls. He was on Undateable. He's a Portland comic. He used to be a Portland comic. He's hilarious. He's a great guy. The guy was very obese. He lost like 140 pounds. He, he's like dirt poor. He was not paying his bills. There's a lot of things that were going on. He had this whole idea of coming up with a vision board. After like listening to a bunch of people, he's like, yeah, screw it. I'm just going to put my goal on this board and kind of just map out things that go with it. So just come up, you don't have to write it down, although writing it down does help, right? A goal written down, is just a dream. Yeah, well, it solidifies it, but it's just a dream, and then you put actionable tasks behind it, then it becomes a plan, and then, you put a plan in motion, put a timeline on it, and there you go. You're ready to rock and roll. You can knock that thing out. But the idea of starting with that goal, like just identifying something that you want to learn, something that you want to do, and then kind of moving towards that. Like me, I play guitar. I haven't played again in 7 years. I feel like 7 years. I feel like I lost 7 years, man, of my life. Like the 7 years I lived in Oregon, all I did was, mountains, coast, good beer, work.
Yep.
That was it. That was my life, man. I didn't ride motorcycles. I didn't play guitar. I didn't cook. There's a lot of things I didn't. I didn't homebrew. I didn't do a lot of things. But now I'm getting back to that. I'm figuring that stuff out. So I take 10 minutes. I'm like, I want to learn this song. Put that up on my board. That's my goal for the week. And I play that song. I learn the song.
Yeah.
I learned The Funeral by Band of Horses, and a bunch of stuff. I come up with these goals and I figure it out. So. If you can identify something that you want to do, make a plan, act on it, small chunks, eventually you'll get there. I guess that's the motivation you guys need. That said, you and I have hit a pretty cool milestone with our podcast. We've gotten thousands of followers. I love the success that we've had with this. And, actually, this is probably a good segue into getting some motivation for our listeners, right?
Yep.
If you like our podcast, go start your own. Right?
Yeah.
Let's build off of it. Let's
start your own, or check out some of the others that we have. I mean, there's so many different ones out there. We've talked about Construction Dorks, Construction Corner, BIM Thoughts. There's
Brothers. Yeah.
There's a lot. Contact Crew. I mean, there's so many different podcasts out there, guys. Don't be afraid to just spawn out, start expanding your horizons, right? Expanding your podcast and see what's out there. And if you don't see something that you're looking for, start your own, share your own ideas, share your information, whatever you have. I mean, don't be afraid to take this on.
Yeah. I mean, always keep listening to our podcast, but check out other ones as well. Create your own. That's fine. Just keep listening to ours. And the reason why I bring this up is, you and I have hit a great milestone with our podcast as far as not only the volume, the reach that we've had, but the amount of people reaching out to be on the podcast. And you and I, we have we have right of refusal. We tell them, maybe you're not a good fit, or maybe we're just not interested in sponsorship of your projects. But with COVID going on, we've noticed a sudden uptick in the amount of people reaching out to us for marketing. I mean, past 2 weeks alone, we've had half a dozen people reach out to us. Before, we never took it any seriously. We'd always joke that this is probably, gonna be taken over at some point by somebody else. But it's come a long way, and we got quite the reach. So we've decided that we will be doing sponsors. We'll choose. It's all to our choosing. This is a hobby, but at the end of the day, we want to. Start some swag. We want to start giving some stuff away and putting stuff up on the commerce site. So if we get some credits to that, it's not out of our own pocket. We're happy with that. But that said, we pick and choose, and our plan is to not charge people for wanting to come on the podcast. We just have to agree that your messaging is in line with what we want to, see and hear, talk
Yeah.
about. But as far as like sponsorships, we're always open. If you guys want to plan, check back on our website. We're going to put something up by the end of this week where it's going to whole sponsorship package, all that fun stuff. Taking on some sponsors now, so
Dude,
looking forward to this.
I'm actually really excited about that. Like not only for us, but honestly for what we can offer our listeners. So we start to get sponsorships and we start to really talk to bigger names, other companies, start expanding our knowledge base and our horizons. Like, there are many things that we could learn. Like, I don't know everything. No, I'm here. I'm learning every day, right? I mean, honestly, I don't know everything about BIM. I know a few things and I help share that knowledge. And every day I strive to keep learning more about what I can. And I want to share that with you guys. And any sponsorship that we can get, to me personally, feels like another kind of hurdle that we're getting. Like, okay, we're able to share this much more information. Like this company can be sharing this company can be doing this. They offer this service or they offer that. Like, I think this is great in the terms of what, again, we can offer all of you and ourselves. I mean, I'm always looking to keep learning, right?
Well, I also think it's a testament to podcasts now, especially in our market. When you and I started this, there were probably like maybe two or three, I would say probably two, more than anything, two very prominent in the construction technology space. One of them had a big name sponsor, and the other, well, I guess both of them had sponsors already.
Yep.
And they were kind of tethered to those sponsors. We don't ever want to be like that. We're very free-flowing guys here. So we do it by episode rather than by you own us type thing. That said, I think it's a testament to the space, right? Like there's, we chatted about this earlier. Like there's not enough events going on right now. There's a lot of digital events. People are just throwing money to be part of, X and X webcast, whether it be, digital construction or whatever, right? They're throwing money at to be part of these endeavors, and they're great things to be part of. But do you get the whole, are you getting a captive audience? I mean, that's the number one thing, right? I think with podcasts, you actually get a more captive audience because it's not something I'm listening to or watching because it's related to work. It's something I'm listening to because I actually enjoy it. More often than not, our podcasts, so I think it's like 56% or somewhere around 60% of all of our streams are through the iTunes app, which means that they're listening to it on their phone, which is probably means they're not, at their computer, during work hours checking us out. They're listening to this on their phone. So to me, that feels, I don't know, I feel very vindicated in our whole, path to this. Like, oh my gosh, are we just wasting time? Just two guys rambling about construction technology, processes, and beer. Like, is that what we're doing? But nah, I mean, like we've reached people after hours in their own homes, in their own environment. It feels great. But anyways, I'm rambling now. But what I'm trying to get at is this segment, this market that we're in. It's so ripe. It's so great. People are spending money in marketing to join these podcasts, which is awesome. So check out these other podcasts that are out there. Always check out us again. If there's something out there that you guys believe you got a niche in, something you guys want to chat about, hit us up to be on it. Join our podcast. Jump on it or start your own podcast. We're happy to lend any foresights, knowledge, anything that we've got. That we've gained along the way. We're happy to share that information and keep the community growing.
Yes, I agree, dude. Anytime we can get somebody on to talk about anything, like I'm not saying anything, obviously, any topic. We want to stay BIM related and beer related, somewhat at least. Somewhat. At least.
Always alcohol, no matter what. Always alcohol. I think where we failed, the one episode we failed is when we tried to do the whatever hard, what was it called?
Oh, the 75 hard.
75 hard. That's where we failed our listeners, man. That is the episode where we fell short. I think we were drinking like virgin cocktails and oh, that was sorry, guys.
Difficult.
Sorry.
We made it though. We're here.
My life.
But dude, I don't know. I love doing this, and I hope that a lot of you share that kind of passion, that same kind of feeling for it. And again, if you guys have anything cool you want to share with people, because that's what we love doing. That's what our industry needs. We need to share more information so we can help bring each other up, kind of standardize different processes, what have you, learn new ways to do things. And we're here to help supplement that. And if you feel like you want to do that, awesome. Start your own podcast, create that website, and get going with it. Reach out to us. I mean, you and I, Joey, we follow so many different podcasts to try and learn what they're doing and also talk to them, because I mean, we all geek out, right? We all geek out about the same stuff.
I think we're nerds at the end of the day, man. I think that's what this is all about. We're just a bunch of nerds.
Yep. I agree.
I'm a manly nerd, but no. I don't hunt bears like you do, but
yeah,
I'm gonna build my.
We all geek out in our own way, man. We all geek out in our own way, in our own things. We geek out, we nerd out. We want to learn more about it. We're passionate about it, and that's where we go.
Well, I think at the end of the day, what I'd like to see more from people, our listeners, ourselves, the people we follow, everybody, is just more content. Let's just keep creating more content. It doesn't have to be a podcast, an article, AU sessions, whatever it is, an app, a training, whatever it is. Just keep learning, keep providing content so people can keep growing in this market. I feel kind of bad that we, chose not to highlight any one particular tool or training during this one, but at the same time, I think we're kind of all overwhelmed with COVID. We're kind of all like, oh my gosh, it's still going on. What can I do? Is it okay if I take 10 minutes to, improve myself? Like, yes, by God, do it. Like,
yes.
Get out of your own skin, get out of your own head, figure something out. Like, go rebuild a carburetor, do whatever you got to do. But,
do you find what makes you happy? Learn, continue learning, continue growing. That's all we can do.
Yeah, exactly. 100%, man. That's all I got, man. That's it. That was everything on my list. I've got learn new language, trial new plugins, start your own podcast. Oh, one last thing. Focus on your social media. Get your social media game strong. I'm not talking Facebook. I'm not talking your TikToks. Although that's probably going to get bought out by somebody soon. I'm talking about your professional social media. Beef up your LinkedIn. Beef up your Twitter. A lot of my good friends are now out. They're out of jobs. They're looking for work. One of my good friends actually, just landed it somewhere. So, I got to tell you, the number one presence that you can have for influencing, yourself to get a new job somewhere else, or at least expanding your connections, is get on LinkedIn. Like, develop those connections, develop that network, put yourself out there, share content, engage in the community. I got some, I think I'm pretty sure it was a scam, but it was like some message, award, notifying us that we being nominated for some award at Prism, whatever, for our social media.
I was super excited when I got the Autodesk email saying I was accepted to Hogwarts Wizarding School. I was like, oh, my dream has come true.
Yes! Yes!
Dang it, Autodesk. Why'd you take that away from me? The next day you should be Harry Potter themed. If it's not, I'm going to be disappointed.
Oh, yes. Well, I just love the fact that it's probably been like 5 years or so now, but Autodesk is still using that as their internal marketing messaging. Like, that's how they test their email systems.
Yep. Dude, that's how you know I'm working with the right company. Like, if you're doing Harry Potter, no, I'm still cool. I am very cool with you. We can be friends. Yes.
Yes. I can get down with that, man. I can get down with that. We that's Autodesk, but we still work. You and I work for a cool company.
Oh, definitely.
The only downside is your boss is a Yankees fan.
Yes, this is true.
Socks all the way, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. One of my best friends could be a Patriots fan, and that's like one of the.
I love you too, man. I don't think any of us are an NFL fan this year. It's not. It's
No,
not.
I don't think it's even a thought process, dude.
Yeah.
My brother JD ended up sending me an invitation to fantasy football, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna do this draft," and I'm like, "Is this even really a thing this year?" Or, dude, I'm not even sure. Should I put the effort and research into this, like getting an actual team, or is this season not gonna even happen? Because I don't even know if I want to watch it. Like, I'm not sure what's going on.
I didn't. I every year we do a family league. My wife's family, and me. I think it's mostly guys that married into the family. We've got this league, and I do good like the first 2/3 of the season, and then after that I'm just complete shit.
Yeah.
Usually I have Brady as my QB, and he just drops the ball for me. It's my own fault, but damn it. Yeah. I love it. I love it. But this year I was just like, they sent me the reminder, download the app, and I'm like, nope. Sorry guys, not doing it. I don't care this year. It's not there. That said, did you see? I think it was The Rock invested in XFL.
Oh, really? The arena football. Interesting.
Yeah, I think
that's with Johnny Football, dude. Johnny Football's in that league.
I think he bought it for like 16 million, or it was like nothing.
Really. That's probably going to be the next best thing.
Oh yeah. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson investor group agrees to buys XFL for 15 million. You couldn't even buy a team for 15 million in like the real NFL. That's crazy that they're buying XFL for 15 million.
Speaking of, dude has his own tequila line. I've been wanting to try it.
Yeah, what's up with celebrities and alcohol now, man? What's up, like George Clooney?
Bro, I swear to you, if I can get enough money, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to invest money in making some type of alcohol. Like I most of the time it's looking like the celebrities, of course, don't know anything about the brewing process, but they invest money into a company that does, and they can slap that label on it and go. And I'm like, how do I do that? That's, honestly, that's the half lazy portion of me. The other part of me is like, no, we got to figure out how to really brew good beer, and then we can open our own brewery, and then we can do the right way.
So George Clooney sold Casamigos tequila for $1 billion.
Wow.
Her has been sold to Diego in a deal that values the company at $1 billion. That is crazy, man. George Clooney made tequila. He and some friends were like, oh, we're sick of tequila. They made their own.
Really?
They literally made their own. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And sold it for $1 billion, man.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Phenomenal.
Casamigos, huh?
Yeah, you have to give that a try too, man.
Is that? Yeah, I was gonna say, is that the one in the like the clay pottery kind of looking bottle?
I think it's clear.
Is it clear?
Yeah, well, man.
I have to look at the liquor store for that one next time.
Casamigos tequila.
Dude, I have been stuck on tequila for a little while too. It's clear? Okay.
Yeah, it's a clear bottle.
I've been looking for a bottle of Don Julio 1947, or is it 1942? I can't even remember now. Now the beer's kicking in, but I've been looking for a specific bottle of Don Julio for months now. It's like $150 bottle. So I don't know if I'm actually going to buy it if they have it. If I did, Adrian would probably kill me, but I'm still looking for it.
But it'll make you a better person if you have it.
Oh, yeah, there you go, right?
Hey, better me, better BIM.
All I know is that
Joey
tequila
said
is that tequila is some of the best like sipping tequila I've ever had. Wow.
I've never been the sipping tequila type person. I've always been the let's take shots. But tequila makes me feisty. I don't, everybody's like, oh, that's a myth. It's all alcohol, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what it is about, I will drink whiskey all day long and be fine. But the second I have tequila, I am punching people and, giving them some, Bangkok shots and hitting them in the back. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, man. I just a little
Yeah.
frisky.
Dude, for me, it's clear. Any clear alcohol, vodka, clear tequila. I can't drink I like a reposado tequila, a dark tequila, rum, whiskeys, things like that. When I start getting into the clears, especially vodka, oh yeah, I get a little frisky on vodka too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad it's not just me, man.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Everybody has their own. Some people
Yeah.
can't drink whiskey.
Oh man, that's my go-to, bud.
That's me too, dude. Woo.
When I was younger, I was always trying to invent new ways to drink alcohol. Like there was this like garden mister. It was like a little canister like this. We used to put like vodka and Smirnoff Ice and fruit punch, and we'd mix all this stuff together and make this stupid cocktail. And I like just sip on this little mister, this little garden mister. All day. It was dumb. Like we were just hammered, just being asinine. And I would drink everything but real liquor. Like it was always like a mixed drink, always something.
Yep.
And it wasn't until I don't know, maybe I was like 25, 26, maybe even later than that, that I actually like started falling in love with whiskeys. Like everybody would always order whiskeys as shots. Like, oh, let's take a shot of let's take a shot of bean. Let's take a shot of turkey, KD, whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, shot. And then I had this one friend, and he always just wanted to sip it. Like we'd take shots, and it was always like cheap tequila, cheap vodka, whatever. But if he had whiskey, he was always sipping it, and that was like what really got it to me. It was like, oh shit, let me try this. And then from then on, like I've just been a whiskey fanatic. Like Irish, American, bourbon, Canadian,
Rye.
Scottish. Oh, I'm a big rye fan. Ryes are my go-to.
Dude, that hopped whiskey I drank last week, I just finished it off last night. That was a really good sipping whiskey. I mean, honestly, it was almost like an IPA whiskey. It was interesting.
I want to give that a try, man. I want to give that a try.
That was a very cool kind of mixture for me. Like, because I like sipping an IPA, but the whiskey itself, I put 2 or 3 ice cubes in there, and I'd pour. I love the bourbon or the bullet bourbon glasses I got. I got one of those gift sets, and it actually has a pour line on there. And I'll do 2 or 3 ice cubes and then pour it up, and then just kind of sip on that. And it was awesome because I could taste the hoppiness of almost like an IPA, but I was really sipping this smooth whiskey. It was awesome.
Oh, I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous. I'll have to look for a bottle of that and get to it.
I'll send you a bottle. How about that? I'll send you a bottle. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Well, you and I, we've ironed out our deals with our sponsors now, and so guys, look forward to some sponsored episodes in the future. But that said, I think I hit everything that I wanted to hit. I don't know. Did you hit everything you wanted to hit?
I did. Yes, sir.
All right, guys. So this whole Better You Better BIM was mostly just to recap. Was mostly about the Better You part. Find a hobby, figure out something to just steer your mind away. Yeah, we're all at home. We're all, in the suck together, right? Embrace the suck.
Embrace it.
Figure out something, you can do with you can do with it. Like in the earlier days, I was, focused on smoking meats and stuff. I, set up my smoker over lunchtime, so that way by dinner time, I had, a bunch of smoked meats. It was awesome. Like trying to time out my day a little bit more, trying to time out stuff where I'm taking walks with my kids, or I'm taking time to read, or I'm spending 10 minutes on Duolingo or whatever language learning app. Just something to figure something out. Now I find myself jumping on these old AU sessions, looking for something, just that little nugget essentially to get me through. But and I don't get to do this as much, but I know probably you do. But playing with new apps, new softwares that are out there. Figure out something that's going to make you more efficient, experiment. If you can figure out how you can save, X amount of hours in the day, is this, worth it? Do the whole ROI, figure it out, make yourself better, and not just, hump down and get through the same old, like figure it out and make yourself better. Do the AARs or the ARPs or the AARP or whatever. I don't know, man. Figure it out and get through it. But, that's the gist of this episode. Dive more into podcasts, especially our podcast. Stay tuned. We look forward to showing you guys some more cool stuff.
Yeah, we look forward to having a bunch of people on here. We've got a kind of list of people that we want to have on here for different interviews, and we're excited to be able to share a lot of different information with you guys, whether it's BIM workflows or it's people with certain experience like Johan. We want to have him back on again, of course. To different companies like Victaulic or any of those other companies that we can have on to share information with you guys. Or again, if you guys want to come on, we are always looking for people to kind of host and continue to share as much information as we can.
Yeah. You know what might be interesting, and sorry, I know we're wrapping this up, but real quick, what might be interesting is having an episode with the people that are still out there looking for jobs, having them on for like a 10-minute segment or something. Like I do like little short segments where we're kind of giving them a shout out and look at their credentials, dude. And
that
kind of like
awesome.
a video resume or something for them, but an interview style. I think something like that might be fun too.
I agree. That would be very cool.
Cool. Well, hey, brother. As always, it's been another good episode. I need to get some more beer because my growler is empty. So is my red off-brand solo cup. I'm gonna call it a Folo cup. I need to get to it, man.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of Brewing with BIM, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. Thank you, sir.